I'm going to talk to you about dopamine. There's no doubt you've heard of it before. It influences every decision you make, whether that's checking the fridge for the third time in an hour, expecting food to be in there, or indulging in a TikTok binge for 3 hours. It's known as a pleasure chemical, but that's not true. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, which makes you anticipate great rewards through desire, which is why things like eating a tub of Ben & Jerry's or having sex feels good, which isn't bad, right? Well, the key word I just said is desire. This is what leads your brain into thinking it will experience pleasure, but the activities themselves don't provide that. Simply because something you do releases dopamine doesn't mean we find it directly pleasurable. And more often than not, if you think about it, once you obtain that reward, you may feel empty or unfulfilled. Unfortunately, no amount of this type of stimulation will bring you the fulfillment that you want. But you keep doing these things, playing video games, drinking alcohol, going on social media, and begin to lose self-control. You crave the stimulation and seek real pleasure, which these activities never deliver. To be honest, I would say that if even one of those points sounded slightly familiar to you or relatable to you, then you probably have an unhealthy relationship with dopamine, like me. The problem is rooted so deeply, and I know it dictates a lot of how I live my life as well as so many other people around me. So I'm stepping away from it for a few days, and I'm gonna bring you along with me. For the duration of the detox, I've written a set of rules to help prevent overstimulation and to help me get into the correct state of mind. So, here we go. No alcohol or drugs, no social media or sources of instant gratification. This includes Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Anything that isn't solely for messaging and gives me no insight into other people's days. No internet-related entertainment, like movies or videos. No music. This is going to be a hard one for me, but I find myself subconsciously just putting music on, and I think it's probably one of my biggest sources of dopamine. No processed or sugary foods, no video games, and no Wikipedia. With all that out of the way, I updated my rules and got prepared for the next few days ahead. Waking up normally takes everything out of me, but it felt different this time. The temperature was set to be hitting 28 degrees later on, and the sun was already shining. And the last thing on my mind was what other people were getting up to on Instagram. Okay, so all of the plans that I made this morning have pretty much disintegrated because my batteries decided that they didn't want to charge. I haven't used them. They're my FPV batteries and they are completely dead, which really sucks. So instead I'm going to be going over to Virginia Water and having a walk around there. I got the other drone, the cinematic one, so I'm going to be flying that across the lake. And yeah, it should still be okay. But yeah, I'm going to hop in the car and take you with me. I would say that the hardest part for me during this time was the lack of music. I would have to use my mind, stay occupied, or audiobooks, but I was struggling to really get into the audiobooks like I used to, and this was really hard whenever I'd have to drive anywhere. Okay, so I just arrived at Virginia Water, a spot I'm never really sure if you're allowed to fly the drone in, so I just fly it anyway. Yeah, it's really good, it's a really nice day. It doesn't actually seem that busy. That's probably because I'm not in the actual Virginia Water car park. Thanks to the White Sheaf Pub for donating me one of their spaces again. But yeah, I'm just gonna get all my stuff out and then I'm gonna head in there and capture some B-roll and stuff. And I'll fly the drone around, which I haven't done in a while. Okay, so the thing that resonated with me most in Nicholas Crystal's My Daily Routine video was when he said you should start your day in your life and not somebody else's. That stuck with me because the first thing I would do when I wake up is reach for my phone and check Instagram or Snapchat or something like that. And I would completely neglect the fact that I have my own story rather than checking somebody else's. And I shouldn't really be bothered about anyone else's. So I challenge you to be as present as possible. Try and wake up and try and have breakfast, have a shower, because it can make such a difference. You don't have to do a full dopamine detox, although I would recommend it because it just makes you feel more present. And look where I am, in the most scenic place I've been in months. And The best weather in the world, so it's about 28 today, which I was not expecting. Just try and implement some changes into your own life, like get up early and like go exercise or go for a walk or something like that. Or start working on your passion project that you've been putting off for about a year and just see how it goes. And get up, you lazy shit. I tried to enjoy the hot weather while I was here and took an hour to walk around the lake to try and clear my head. I also, of course, had to say hello to every dog that I saw in the park. So one thing that I definitely need to get better at is the thought of filming in public and dealing with people. That's why I've sort of walked off on this little trail here. And it's a little bit awkward, but yeah, it's just something I'm gonna have to get used to. If I wanna do this properly, which I do, I'm just gonna have to do it. Starting my day like this was so refreshing. I felt way more energetic and motivated than normal. You just can't replicate this feeling artificially, and I never regret the early mornings and being completely present. I literally live off this stuff. So I thought I'd check in at this point. Times like this, where you're sitting here with food, and I usually have YouTube open, or I'll be watching a show on Netflix, is a bit, boring, but I have audiobooks and stuff like that, so I've been listening to them. Audiobooks are allowed, they're not digital entertainment, they don't count. But yeah, no, it's going okay. I like being present, and I enjoy all the feelings of being present, a lot more than being glued to my phone, which isn't great for you. And as discussed earlier, it just sort of provides you with unnecessary dopamine that doesn't lead to any actual stimulation. So getting rid of sources of instant gratification, or at least controlling them, is really important. It helps you regain control over your focus and rewire your thinking to thinking long-term rather than short-term. I mean, just think, like, what did you gain from scrolling on TikTok for 3 hours? Or watching the 15th YouTube video in a row? Was that time meaningful, and did it actually push your life in the way that you wanted to go? Did it bring you any closer to that project or that lifetime goal that you've been striving to achieve for ages? It's such a problem because it's so easy. There's no one that's going to stop you. No one's going to take your phone out of your hand and tell you to stop going on social media. But these social media giants and the people that run these companies want to keep you on, and that's what they're doing. The reason that it's so important to catch yourself when you're in these moments is because excitement isn't fulfillment. And when you experience excitement, you think that it's going to lead to fulfillment, but it never really does. And that's why you find yourself stuck in a loop.
Okay, so I've wasted this day. It's 10:30 at the moment and I've only just woken up. I feel really bad. My toe really hurts. So I think the swimming in the sea yesterday didn't help. So I'm gonna go to the doctors and then hopefully I'm gonna fly my FPV drone at some point. But the day's a bit of a shambles at the moment. So I hope it's not completely boring for you, but I've gotta go get my life sorted. It's rough.
Mornings like these are the ones that clog up the creative flow. They're so detrimental to productivity, and I usually let them determine how my day is going to go. From then, things took an even slower turn. I made breakfast, but I just couldn't seem to shake the slump that had me stuck. I was bored, and that boredom stopped me working. Since waking up late, I feel completely slumped. I forgot to do my daily check-in and my meditation. I'm still waiting to hear back from the doctor because I can't walk at the moment, really. My toe is absolutely killing me. And I just had an email back I've been working with a YouTuber on this project. He's a really great productivity and lifestyle YouTuber, but his team have just asked for a third revision of the video, which is putting a bit more pressure on me, which isn't great right now. And the issue is not that, it's the fact that it just adds to the things that are playing on your mind all day. And at least for me, this is hard because I already had an idea of what I wanted to do today, and that got messed up because I can't walk anywhere. And this sort of just adds onto the list of stuff, including shooting this video, which is sort of more of a documentary style sort of thing, or just like documenting what's going on throughout the day. Yeah, it's just annoying, but we move and it'll be okay. Just need to re-jog and start my day properly and do everything that I said I was going to do in the first place, rather than just jumping into the day on my own accord, which is never good because you just get jumbled up with no sense of order if you want to get anything productive done throughout the day. To be honest, I felt like this for around 2 hours. I was finding any excuse not to work, not following my daily highlights, and I was completely wasting time. But I really wanted to make the most out of this detox, and I feel like there are a few things that I missed that made a big difference. So I forced myself to get started with the morning checklist, and I meditated to try and clear my mind of the thoughts that were playing on my mind. And I got up and got to work. So I was just in the bathroom and I decided to make an a cappella because I have nothing better to do with my time. Listen to this. Doesn't that sound like ghosts? Why did I do this? Oh my god. After that, I used some free time before sunset to practice guitar with an incredibly depressed face. I only noticed that when looking back at the footage, and I'm not sure what happened there, so enjoy. Alright, it's time to see if there's actually a good sunset today. Hopefully.
See that? I might spot some cows. Keep an eye out. Roger isn't liking me here.
Okay, so the sun is going down today. It's been an alright day actually. Pretty hot, but the sunset is, should be better on a summer's day. It's crazy because I've only just now realized how much I've changed since I started with all this creative stuff. And it started with photography, with my drone. And I used to go around chasing sunsets every day after work. And since I've stopped doing that, I found myself in a bit of a drought and the creative stuff just didn't really come. I wasn't enjoying Instagram anymore. I wasn't really, and I haven't been really putting pictures up, which is my favorite thing to do before. I used to go out every night after work and shoot some stuff miles away. I drive 100 miles somewhere and go take pictures because I found it fun. But recently I found that since I've been trying to make money from it, I was struggling and I wasn't enjoying it as much because there was too much strain on the commercial side of it. I think coming to places like this, I mean, this is literally across the road from where I live, and just coming and appreciating the sunset rather than trying to make something of it or trying to create something, thinking how will people like this, how will it perform on Instagram. It's nice just to enjoy nice weather and just enjoy the environment that you're in and just be present. I think the good times and having good vibes generally can be the medicine that you're looking for, or the thing that you need to bring you out of that depressing state, because I was definitely in one for quite a long time. I think we were, a lot of us, from dealing with coronavirus. It's done some horrible things to people and it's made us feel so separated, even though we have online. It's almost like an alone together feeling, and it's horrible. I think something that I saw from Nicholas Crystal's version of the dopamine detox was when he talked about comparing your life to other people's, and something like Instagram really does do that. It makes you put yourself down and make you think that you don't have enough, and you forget about gratitude for the things that you already have, like the fact that you have probably running water in your house, or you have a family that love you, or you have a house that you can go back to. It's not always materialistic things, but just being able to see or taste or have senses, things that you may take for granted, and you don't think about because you're like, oh, well, this guy's got a car that's 2 years newer than mine, or well, this guy gets way better pictures than me. And that's what I found myself falling into all the time. He said, my videos are good just the way they are. I shouldn't compare myself to anyone else. And that's so important to do, and it's so true. You shouldn't. You should just enjoy your craft and create what makes you happy. Don't look at everyone else's stuff. I used to look for inspiration, which is fine if that's what you're doing, but it's a very fine line between finding inspiration in people's work and being overwhelmed by how good you think their work is. And it can really make you want to stop creating. Just enjoy the moment, live in the moment, and try and enjoy life a little bit more. Just take a second, listen to the birds, take out your earphones. Just be present. Alright, so when you think about priorities, it can get confusing, especially when you're dealing with a long list of to-dos or a daily highlight that's burning you out. I like this way of thinking when it comes to setting my daily highlight, which is if you could only complete one task before you take a month-long break, what would it be? You might be putting it off because it's hard or it's quite boring, but hopefully that's what the dopamine detox takes care of. Hopefully it makes it easier, and I think that you'll find that once you're a few minutes into that task, you'll have the momentum to carry you into what's called the flow state. This is just where you can give your full undivided attention and you're fully immersed in the task at hand. To what Maurice said, if that's how you say his name, the key to effective productivity can be split into three categories: focus, consistency, and impact. Focus is your ability to avoid distraction and procrastination. You off, I'm trying to record. Off. Yeah. What did you forget? You keep making noise, it's condenser mic. And I'm in your throat. Condenser mic. You can come in here with your door.
Off, you open your door, show me your
Yeah, I am.
face.
Yeah.
I've had a good day until that.
Yeah? Yeah. Nice sense. Yeah, it was alright.
No, go on, say what you
Oh,
nah,
I'm busy.
Close the door then.
Nah.
Close it.
Nah, you close your door. Leave.
Nah,
Oh my God.
The hallway.
This you. Get out. Yeah, man. Oh my God. The shit I have to put up with. Focus is your ability to avoid distraction and procrastination, which always felt like an impossible hurdle for me, but just following like a few rules of this detox has really helped tackle that issue. And then consistency, which is making the task that you want to do a habit and doing it day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. And then impact, which is the ability to identify which task is most applicable for your long-term success and working on that as often as possible. I mean, this is literally the key. There isn't any secrets. There's no real quick way to success. This is it. That's literally the key. There isn't any secrets beyond that, and it's all on you essentially. The moment that you decide that working on that project that you've been putting off or the side hustle that you've been trying to put together is more important than a new series on Netflix is the moment that you take the first of many steps to success, whatever that may look like for you. Not that I'm a guru in any way for success, period. But I'm just so happy and like overwhelmed by how much it's changed my mindset over the last few days and the amount of work that I've achieved purely off my own back. Like I've got about 200 gigabytes of footage that I've shot for this video, which is a little bit overwhelming, but the fact I've gone out and tried to put it together and hopefully it pays off. Because if you know me in person, and if you're watching this, you probably do know me in person, you know that I'm the laziest person in the world. I would already say that I would recommend you should try this out. I know it sounds really cliche, but it's been completely eye-opening to how much time I spend personally tied up in other people's lives. And I don't really care. So it's weird that that's something I do on a daily basis. And it's weird that it's something that stunts my growth as much as it does. Because I get so caught up in other people's lives, I don't have time to be present and enjoy my own. I took the time to get some exercise in and make my grand reappearance at the gym for the first time in about 3 weeks. Oh, Gymshark sponsor me. Okay, I can't be asked to bring you into the gym, but just take my word for the fact that I'm going. I'm sure you'll see by me looking like a complete mess when I come back out that I have in fact been to gym. But yeah, it's been weeks, so let's go. Oh, okay, so I just finished gym. I'm heading back now. I always feel so much better after I come back from gym. Like, I never regret actually going. It's just the pre-thought, like, getting ready to go to gym is, I don't know, you have to find the motivation, I think, to go to gym. What I love about it is it's like a time where you can stay completely focused on being present because you're in agony and you're lifting weights and it's really hard to think about other stuff. For me, I just need to like remember this feeling because every time I go, I literally want to go again. But it's just leaving the house that's so hard, especially when it comes to winter. I think I just need to write it down and build it up as a habit. I think that will probably work. And I think once you like solidify it as a habit, it's quite hard not to do it daily, but it's just getting to that point. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna drive because it's rush hour and it's quite hard to do when you're holding a camera.
When I got back home, I started making some food and then hopped in the shower for my final push of the dopamine detox. Today was kind of nice because I allowed myself to slow down and use reading as my source of entertainment. So reading is pretty new to me. I always struggle with reading, but it's ridiculous how much just reading and surrounding myself with books has changed me and my mindset. There's this amazing quote, and I don't know the source, I probably shouldn't quote it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And it says something like, surround yourself with 4 unmotivated people and you'll be the 5th. Surround yourself with 4 millionaires and you'll be the 5th. But this doesn't just apply to people that are alive or people that you're around. Books are usually written, especially the New York Times bestsellers, are written by people that are masters at their craft and that are at the top of the game when they wrote the book. There's like centuries worth of information that have been written into books with problems that the authors have gone through, and plenty of the authors have been through the things that you're worrying about and have the answers for the questions that you have. Even if you hate reading like I did, I don't anymore because I bought a Kindle and it's pretty good. Just get an audiobook. Just start listening to them on there. I mean, it goes in. Maybe just take some notes, something like that. Not if you're lazy like me. I mean, I'm really lazy. But even I do it. And for me right now, this kind of helps because this is my only source of entertainment throughout these 3 days. So I have learned to love books again. And just like that, my dopamine detox came to an end. Okay, so should you quit all social media and live with the monks in the Himalayas? I mean, sure if you want, but if you want to try this dopamine detox, even for a few days like I did, I couldn't recommend it enough. Absolutely hiding from everyone in the public right now. It allowed me to tell my brain to be quiet and just enjoy things I would usually say I don't have time to do. By just getting rid of some of the overstimulating activities that I would do from morning until night, I let my mind have clarity and focus on enjoying each moment as it came, rather than trying to find a reason to be busy or jumping from one thought to the next.
You should just enjoy your crafting, create what makes you happy.
Surrounding yourself with the fakeness of the modern world is really damaging and stops you being present and living life in the moment. It makes you compare your appearance, your life, your work, and your worth with everyone else, and it becomes a competition you always feel like you're losing.
Feel completely slumped.
But getting rid of the sources of instant gratification allowed me to feel grounded and realize that I should be happy with my work and grateful with my life.